So, it is our expectation that as we visit together, that we will be able to lure you into the vortex. And that is really the most powerful and valuable thing that we can assist you with. If we can convince you that this vibrational reality does exist, and that shouldn't be hard because you have emotions that are pointing out the variance between you and you all day, every day. If you will feel the difference between fixating on something that you appreciate and staying there long enough that you feel yourself breathing it in completely, and then fixating on something that you are complaining about or condemning and feeling the interesting difference in the life-giving quality and the sucking the life right out of you quality of your focus, you can show yourself that these two aspects of you do exist. And then once we have convinced you that you have this vibrational relationship and that your emotions are the indicator of how you're doing, then you can begin to look forward, or better said, feel forward into this vortex of creation. Once you believe, now the vortex takes you in frequently, and once inside this vortex frequently, you begin, and we know this is going to sound ethereal, it's going to sound new agey, it's going to sound religious, it's going to sound like another dog and pony show. When you get inside the vortex, you will have the gift of sight, the gift of hearing, the gift of seeing, smelling, tasting, touching. When you get into the vortex, when you get in there and have practiced the vibration of it long enough that it comes easy to you, we see you sometimes, you'll meditate for 10 or 15 minutes and release resistance in the process, which means you're in the vortex, but then you come out into your day and complain like you have been, so you spend most of your day practicing the out of the vortex vibration and very little bit of your day in the vortex practicing the in the vortex vibration. This Art of Allowing workshop is all about getting as close as you can to the vortex and trusting that in time, if you get close enough, often enough, the vortex will take you in, and as it takes you in often enough, you're going to begin to practice the vibration inside the vortex, which means your resistance will subside, and by law, everything that you have been asking for, all of which is in this vortex of creation, must manifest in your experience, where not only you, but others may see it. Now, it's important to know, and you know this already, those not in the vortex usually can't see what you're manifesting because their vibration is such. Haven't you ever just felt wonderful and somebody else just feels awful, and you're looking pretty much at the same street on the same day in the same city? In other words, there are as many different worlds moving around here as there are moods and attitudes. Esther sat to meditate one day and fixated on the words ease and flow. Ease and flow. And she couldn't think about ease without thinking about ease. Ease is a hard thing to be confused about. Ease is ease. Ease is wonderful things happening without struggle. Ease and flow. And as she pondered those two words for 15 minutes, when she came out of her meditation, her day turned around. She found more productivity with more fun and less effort than she'd experienced in a long, long time. And she thought, I like that feeling of ease. And we say, what she did was she accepted with very little effort the leverage of the vortex. When you care about getting in there, when you care about ease and flow, when you care about clarity, when you care about the way you feel, and you're willing to loosen your grip on the impropriety or the imperfection or the downright wrong behavior that you've been focused upon somewhere in your physical world, when you're willing to feel for alignment rather than sort out the problems longer, what you're going to discover is you have put enough into your vortex of creation to keep you happily busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. And when you focus in a way that no longer keeps you out of the vortex, everything that you want will show up in your experience. Now, we hope you heard that in exactly the way we meant it, because we want you to accept that what law of attraction is, it is a unifying law. It is a culminating law. It is a attracting law. In other words, it is the law of rendezvous. It is the law of rendezvous. So if you've got a lot of ornery people in your life, the law of rendezvous is just showing you who you are. If people are stealing from you, the law of attraction, this rendezvousing law, is just showing you who you are. And you say, but wait, I would never steal from another. And we say, we're not saying that you're a thief, but you've got thief vibration going on. You're worried about people taken from you. You're worried about that sort of thing going on. It's active in your vibration, and the activation of things going wrong is the preventative reason preventing things from going right. Can you hear it? So we'd like to just zap you all with clear insight that makes you say, I'm going to stop fussing over the small stuff. And technically it's all really small stuff. It's all ineffective, unimportant. It's not needing to be documented because it's out of the vortex. I'm going to train myself into the vortex. That's where we want you to be when you exit this theater at the end of this day. We want you to have one thing and one thing only on your mind. That vortex place seems like a good place to be, and I'm going to feel my way in there. Now here's the ulterior motive for getting in there. I'm going to get in that vortex because I want to feel good. Now, we know how off that must sound to someone outside the vortex who wants stuff to come that isn't coming. But if your motive for getting into the vortex is to make that stuff that isn't happening happen, now you've activated the stuff not happening and you can't get in the vortex. So if your motive is just to feel better, here is the largest motive that we would encourage you to assign to yourself about getting into this vortex. In other words, don't say, I'm going to get in because that's where all my stuff is and I'm tired of being without it, because that's what happens. I'm going to go in there and get my stuff that I don't have. Well, then you don't get in. But if you say, I'm going to go in there because it feels good, now you can get in easily. And if then you begin saying, I'm going to stay in here often because it feels good, now you stay in there, and what happens is you then train your vibration into one that matches what you want. As you wait until you are inside the vortex, these are money and the law of attraction cards. So if you're outside the vortex and you're looking through these cards, achieving success is my natural birthright. Right. Right. You know how it feels to be outside the vortex, affirming what you do want? It's like pouring salt in the wound. It's like saying, who writes this stuff? Who writes this stuff? They've got their head and their clouds are somewhere else, I'm sure. I am the attractor of my experience. Yeah, like that was my fault. Like that was my fault. I can deliberately choose to feel better now. Yeah, I can choose to feel better now. You see what we're getting at, don't you? So affirming affirmations when you're not in the vortex backfire. Because if you've been practicing an out of the vortex conviction, and then you try to affirm its opposite from out of the vortex, all that happens is you just dig in harder. But if you feel your way in by reaching for thoughts that feel good, and now you're inside the vortex, you're in the vortex, you're feeling good, you're in tune with who you really are, you're seeing your world through the eyes of Source, you're feeling your world through the eyes of Source, and you say, achieving success is my natural birthright. Achieving success is my natural birthright. Now you want to read the other side of the card. In other words, when you're in the vortex and then you affirm, what happens to you is you practice that successful vibration. And you're awake while you're doing it. You're practicing it, you're awake, and now you've set a new tone. Now what happens, then you'll move into your day, and as you move into your day, you might have another reactive moment, because there are tailings of how you thought the day before and how you thought the day before. Your law of attraction attitude or stance didn't turn around on a dime during the 15 minutes that you were in the vortex. But if you do it today and tomorrow and the next day, if you make it an important part of your day, what will happen is you will become aware of in the vortex thoughts and out of the vortex thoughts. And you'll catch yourself as you are moving through your day so that you will finally become a deliberate creator. That's what proactive attraction is. You become a deliberate creator because you offer your vibration on purpose rather than reacting to what's going on. And when that happens to you, you can hold your own no matter what. It does not matter what is swirling around you. Law of attraction will ferret out from the soup that is swirling around you only those things that are a vibrational match to what you have trained yourself to be. Once you get the hang of this, once you care about feeling your way into the vortex, we offered a game to Esther and she had such fun with it. We encouraged her to start through the alphabet and choose a word that begins with A that feels in the vortex to her. And so from inside the vortex, it was easy. She said appreciation. And then just held the thought long enough that she received the feeling of complete alignment with her source. And then we said, choose a B word. And she said, bask, that's easy. Clarity, that's easy. Delicious, divine, that's easy. Energy, easy, ease. Fun, full, focus. Now from inside the vortex, focus is fun. Focus feels great if you're inside the vortex. If you're not in the vortex and you think focus, now it feels like harder work. So what you do, you get in the vortex and you're pretty sure you're in there and then play the alphabet game. In other words, it's so fun to find more in the vortex emotional words. Esther found if she would preface her search for the word with, I feel more. I feel moved. I feel magnificent. I feel joy. I feel happiness. As you want to feel and you reach for those words that you consciously acknowledge feel good to you, what happens is you're going to train yourself, you're going to train your vibration, you're going to train your point of attraction into everything that you've asked for. And then what happens is it has to start showing up. So then it gets easier and easier and easier. Because not only then are you proactive because you're deliberately going to the vortex that no one else can see, and you're deliberately reaching for a feeling that feels good only to you because you're in there all alone. In other words, you're deliberately doing it, but if you do it long enough, what begins to happen, and long enough, we only mean a day or two or three or four, a week, a month. In other words, as you practice this for 15 or 20 minutes every day, you will train your vibration into a new point of attraction, and then you will begin experiencing a life that you can then react to. When you show yourself that you can feel better unconditionally, now you are one who lives unconditional love as the source within you always does. And now you can be the deliberate creator of your experience. And nothing is more fun than to be in a physical body and then to get to watch the universe knock itself out to bring you the manifestations, to show you your worthiness. That's why you came. That's why you came.